This is Alvin. Get up closer to the mic.
Oh my gosh, and this is a very sleepy pair of pants.
Oh. We just watched episode 7 of Happy Sugar Life.
Yeah. Alvin, don't you want to at least explain our very lengthy absence?
No. What's there to explain? We didn't want to do it.
No, you didn't want to do it. And explain why you didn't want to.
Well, we've been very busy.
No,
I'm busy,
no,
you're busy.
Don't put me in this.
You're not busy?
I'm never too busy to do the show.
Whatever. I'm not making any excuses. This is just a show. This isn't a show about a show. This is a show. And we watched Happy Sugar Life. How did that make you feel? How you feel? We just watched it. How you feel?
No, I feel that this is very jarring of an introduction.
Nobody could. You know how many people have listened to the previous episode? 9. Okay, so don't worry about them.
You know what? Those could be 9 very influential people. One of those 9 could be a Saudi prince.
No, don't say that.
And they want to give us a bag full of gold.
I wouldn't take it. I don't want your charity. I also don't want to watch the show.
I will totally take your charity, Saudi prince.
Where do I?
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to watch the show, why are we watching the show?
Because we started it.
See, I hate the way we always have to dance to the beat of your drum.
No, you started it. You're like, I want to do this show. I'm like, all right. And I'm like that.
I did. And then you just fell off the map and did God knows whatever. You crawled up inside of a Maker's Mark bottle and couldn't find your way out of it.
Actually, I wish I had. I wish I was inside that bottle while I was watching this episode. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't a bad episode. It's like it's been a while, and it's like as I watch this, I'm like, why would anybody? What's going? I don't know.
It's not fun watching shows with you that you are so like. Okay, so you've got like this mode where this is dumb, and I'm gonna talk hella mad shit about it, and the other mode is like this is dumb and or gay, and I can't even drum up any words for it.
Maybe it's because this was such a low key episode. There was nothing to really get hyped over. It's like,
wait, you don't like this character?
No, I really don't like her. I don't like her, and by extension, I don't like the author. So
why are you blaming the author?
Because they wrote this person. They write around this person, and that annoys the shit out of me.
I don't know what you mean by write around. Explain that.
It's just, it's really, you read some things where the authors are like, I listen to my characters. I create characters, and then they surprise me. This author was not surprised. This author is like, this pink-haired chick is the coolest thing ever, and she's got a dark secret, and she loves little girls, and everyone's like, what's your secret? What's your dark secret? But she outsmarts all of them. She outsmarts the police. She outsmarts her family. Oh, but she's damaged, and she's sympathetic because like something happened to her when she was a child. What happened to her? Oh. You're gonna have to wait till episode 12 to find out what the fuck happened to her.
Yeah, I wasn't interested before, but now I want to meet this author because it sounds like Joe Pesci.
I wasn't even doing a Joe Pesci. But like, all right, let's get to the episode. I guess this has been so long. I do remember she like faked out some chick at work. There was some chick at work who was digging in her shit. And she's like, shit, this chick's digging in my shit. I gotta fake her out. So she's like,
can we clarify that shit actually means bag? Her
digging in her shit. Yeah. Trying to find out more about the main character, Sato. And the chick who was digging was Shoko. So Sato was like, actually.
No, it wasn't Shoko that was the.
It wasn't? Are you sure?
No, it was another girl that was looking through her bag. The one that was obsessed with her.
Oh, is Shoko the one who went to that dude's house?
Yes.
Oh, because that's why they flashed to him. Because I thought this was the chick from work. Okay, I went through this whole episode thinking this was the chick from work.
Well, they both work. Both of those girls work with Sato.
All right. So
you see, this is why you shouldn't just kind of dive. You can't be bothered to remember anything about these characters.
Cannot be arsed. All right. So anyway, all right. It's actually that chick who's kind of her friend. And so they're walking, and she's like, the Shoko has some breakdown because she's like, oh wow, we're really friends, and it's really great to have friends, and friends are great.
Friends, how many others have them?
Yeah. So
Friends.
she's like, we're going to your place, and the whole time you're like, well, really? She's taking it at her place, and then she goes to what you think is her place. Wait, stop.
Hammer time?
No, not Hammer Time.
Oh.
I forgot that in the very beginning of this episode, we get a little monologue, and it's like, there once was a girl who didn't know what love was, and her parents died so early they couldn't teach her what love was, even though...
That's the worst limerick ever.
No, yeah. And I'm like, parents don't teach you what love is. It's just, you're supposed to just experience it as a human being. My parents never sat down and they're like, Alvin, let's talk about what love is.
Yeah. My parents said that. They're like,
Your
what is love? Don't hurt me.
Wait, did your parents actually talk to you about love?
Of course not.
I don't know. I don't know your family.
They told me about sex, but they didn't
Ugh.
teach me about love.
Gross.
Wait a minute, your parents didn't teach you about sex?
My dad said, if you have sex with a woman, make sure you use a condom. And that was before my freshman year at college.
Did he tell you where to put it?
I had a good idea. And I did not...
I imagine you having sex for the first time and trying to put the condom over her vagina.
It'd be no less than what she deserved. I would not have to use that knowledge for many years. But
did you say, Dad, what's a condom?
He's like, bye, son. No, don't turn the fan on because it's gonna be too loud. That's right, you gotta suffer. Now you feel how I feel. I was watching the cartoon.
I thought there was a silent fan.
I'll turn it on. We'll see. It kind of vibrates. It goes like woo.
Well, then it's not silent.
It's a different. It's all right. It's not so bad. But all right. So we're having this flashback, and he's like, "Oh, this girl, her parents died, didn't teach her about love," and so yeah, then she hoed around a lot and eventually became a pedophile or something. I wrote that. I don't think the narrator said that. But when I heard that, I'm like, oh, this is cool. So it's one of those things where it's like you expect them to drag it out, but they start an episode, they're like, no, we're just going to tell you what this chick's deal is because we're not going to rely on keeping it a secret to keep you interested because we actually have more in store. And it turns out, no, that wasn't the case at all. This was the teacher's hypothesis. So... I don't know. I guess none of that was real, or I don't know. I just thought like that kind of pullback at the end where it's like, oh, this is what the teacher thinks. This is not what really happens. I'm like, oh, thanks for wasting my time. So after that, she's walking home with Shoko. Shoko starts crying because they're friends, and that's a thing to cry about. And then they go back to Sato and Shoko. Go back to what is supposed to be Shoko's place, and the police are like, hey, do you live here? This place fucking stinks, and we're the police, and smelling bad is against the law. And of course the next thing that Sato asked was like, do you have a warrant? Nah, I'm just kidding, nobody ever asked that because I guess they don't have search warrants in Japan. The police
I don't think they have like what is it, unlawful search and seizure?
Is it against the law to let the cops in or not let them in? Because she's like, it would be really inconvenient. He's like, please cooperate, and it's like, I just told you it would be inconvenient. But I don't know. Did anything come to mind while you were watching that?
No, but I'm pretty sure even people here would, not tell the cops that you can't go in. That's pretty ballsy.
What? Here, like in America?
Yeah.
You better not let the cops in here if they don't have a warrant. Shit.
I don't know how many people would actually, except for those rare people who claim to be sovereign citizens.
Look, I am a sovereign citizen. Am I being detained? Look, if you're listening to this, if you're one of the 9 people that listen to this, don't let the cops in your place unless they have a search warrant. There you go.
If you're one of the 9 people listening to this, how did you get here?
Go listen to something better. All right, so like I did like the fake out how it was the aunt's place, because I was right there with the teacher. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down now. Then it's like, even though it's kind of an ass pull, Ass pulls and fake outs. That's the name of this fucking
You
show.
see, my deal is why does Sato and the aunt act so suspiciously when the cops wanted to look through the place when there was nothing to find?
Uh, for the audience.
Like, because Sato's freaking out. It's like, they're gonna find my crazy aunt. I'm like, are you really that worried? Like,
Well, I mean, she doesn't know what her aunt's gonna do.
uh, yeah, but it's not like they're gonna find. I mean, there was no dead body to find. There was no
No.
crime to find.
I guess she just didn't want to, saving face. She didn't want to be embarrassed. Very dishonorable.
And I guess that one locked room
Oh,
with.
the aunt was
Okay.
like, "Don't go in the room."
Okay. So there's one room in the aunt's place that's locked
Mm.
where the smell is coming from.
Yeah.
And the cops are like, we want to check this room. And the aunt is like, oh no, they're going to find a big secret behind
She's
that
like,
door."
"I'm not opening that door." And then the cop, still no search warrant, is like, "Yeah, I think I can get this open." And she's like, "Wait, please don't open that door." You're like, "Yep, here we go."
If any person living in Japan or knows anything about Japan or is Japanese and happens to know English and is listening to this stupid thing, please explain to us if they do have search warrants in Japan.
They
A
don't.
search warrant is like the cops can't just they can't just pull you over and search your vehicle.
They can't. Yeah, they can't search your property without approval and a justifiable cause.
Yeah, they have to have justifiable cause. They can't just say, I'm just going to do it for the heck of it over here. But yeah, I want to know if they also have that over there. But anyway, about this room, so the cop is just, whistling while he works.
Mhm.
And they open a room and we see a bunch of, there's nothing in the room but like some nasty old mattress on the floor
Mhm.
and lots of balled up toilet paper.
Mhm.
So they don't explain what it is they smell. I'm assuming that she, relieves herself in the room.
No, you can't assume that because
I do. Why not?
that's
What's with the balled up toilet paper then?
I don't expect anything because
What else could make a bad smell like that?
this whole thing is done poorly. It's like if the neighbors can smell it, then as soon as they opened the door, they should have been like, "Oof, that fucking smell." And then they should have described the smell. Does it smell like garbage? Does it smell like feces? Does it smell like chemicals? I mean, you can't just be like, "There's a strange smell." I mean, that's just
Maybe it was just an atomic fire.
there's like a half-eaten burrito in the kitchen. Like, we've solved the case.
Here's the culprit.
Ma'am, if you're going to eat atomic burritos, you should have some consideration for your neighbor. She's like, "Ooh, da 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 da. Ooh, I didn't know. So sorry." Ooh. So yeah, all right. So the cops go in, do whatever they want. They find a room that's supposed to be dirty and smelly, but thanks to the shitty writing, we don't know how it was dirty or how it was smelly. That might clue us into some of the behavior of the aunt, and then that might clue us into some of the character of the main character and why she behaves that way. But fuck it. I mean, who?
Well, I do know from the manga.
Well, no spoilers.
There's no spoilers.
All right, go ahead.
Do know from the manga that the aunt used to entertain gentlemen in that room, or does. So
That room smelled like nut, just hard nut everywhere.
I think it smelled like all sorts of bodily fluids.
Maybe they couldn't just no, because then they should have been like, I can't describe the smell. It smells kind of musty and bleachy or like chemically or rubbery. I don't know, anything.
I think it smelled like poo and semen.
Ah.
That's what's going through my.
All right, so they open the cop inspects the room, doesn't find anything, I guess, illegal, and then he's like, "Hey, you stinky bitch, take a shower." And then she does this mind game on this cop, and she's like, "Hey, I bet you don't get off because you're a fucking nerd." And then
That would have been better dialogue.
and then she rolls up on him, and of course, since this is anime, he's like, "Oh, gosh, oh."
And he falls down.
He was like, and she's like, puts her titties on, and it's like, "Hey, we're gonna have sex right here in front of everybody, and the female cop's like, back up, bitch.
Man, LA cop would have maced her ass so
Yeah.
fast.
And then the mom's like, oh, you can get it too if you play your cards right. And the cops are
Or
like,
play them wrong. I'll suck anything.
and also like, I mean, I know it's stupid to like bring up character design, but it's like the design, like the mom is supposed to be like some kind of worn out ass.
It's not a mom, her aunt.
Aunt. I've been saying mom this whole time. Like she's supposed to be worn out and smelly and bruised, but because every anime character comes from like 5 different basic designs, it's like, oh, put a couple extra lines on her and some bandages and kind of muss up her hair. And I don't really get smelly psycho aunt from this design.
Well, they're afraid, to go like full force with it. They can't draw ugly people. It's hard. Like I noticed that with some manga artists, it's very hard for them to draw ugly people. So,
Alright, well, I just thought that was kind of weird.
yeah, I mean, like it takes so much of your time and effort to make good-looking people. So who wants to draw ugly people?
Well, I mean, the design betrays, the character and well, whatever. Who cares?
It's like just slap a couple of band-aids on her face, they'll get it.
Jeez. But all right. So she tries to have sex with the cops, and they're like, "No, thank you," and leave. And
oh no, that male cop's coming back. You can just tell.
That would be nice. And I know I kind of brought it up before, but like I should emphasize that right before this, the teacher is freaking out before they go in the room. And he's like, oh, this is great, this is great. This chick who I'm obsessed with because she humiliates me, but now I'm really excited that she's going to get caught. I don't know, this guy, it's like he's kind of, how do I put this? I mean, I don't even feel like I'm 100% correct, but I feel like this guy is like, the audience gets to peak, kinda, and it's like oh, he's like kind of like the audience's curiosity. Who is this chick? What's she doing now? What does it all mean? Only it's so weak. It's like
I don't know. I don't really
you don't think that this guy's inquisitiveness parallels what the audience is supposed to be thinking at the time?
Oh, yeah, I guess I don't really care. I mean, he's actually the only character I really like. I just like him because he's a masochist.
Is he though?
Oh yeah.
I guess he's a masochist he's
a masochist by Japanese standards. There.
He's a masochist when it's convenient, when it makes the main character more interesting. Otherwise, he's whatever. I don't know. All right, so that was happening. So the cops, he's out there beforehand. The cops go in. The cops do all this stuff. The cops leave. And then they're walking. Some other conversation happens. And then Shoko and Sato walk away. And it's like, hey, you want to still be my friend? And then there's this weird thing where she's like, of course. But then it kind of snaps back. So it's like, did that really happen?
No, that's... that was Sato's perspective. After seeing the kind of, condition Sato lives in and like the people who are her family, Sato, asked Shoko, look, can you still accept me as your friend, knowing what you just saw? And Shoko hesitated, and that little shift, that little break, was from Sato's perspective because it's supposed to mean she has a very distorted black and white view of the world. So she knew Shoko was lying when Shoko said, yeah, sure, we're still buds.
Wait, so Shoko really did say, hey, we're still buds?
Shoko said it, but she didn't mean it. She was too caught off guard, to really tell Sato that she accepted her. She wasn't sure, she hesitated. And Sato sensed it because Sato's a genius. Mm-hmm. And Sato was like, she knew. She just knew that Shoko couldn't hang with it. So she just kind of turned the ice on her. So like, oh, okay, well, that's great. We'll see you at work.
Scene was very poorly done.
really? How come I got it
Because
then?
you read the manga.
No, no, it had nothing to do with the manga. I got that. That's how Sato's been through the whole series. Just seeing like these really distorted blurbs of people. Like she doesn't see individuals. She just sees distortions.
Mm. Well, right before this, like she's like describing her mom. She's like, "Oh, she accepts all people's desires."
That's not her mom. Her
It's her
aunt.
aunt. I'm sorry, whatever. And it's like that's really not that traumatic. It's like, all right, your mom's a hoe.
Why do you
So
keep saying mom?
I don't know. I just want to say the phrase your mom's a hoe. It's like, yeah, this my parent. Well, I don't know if her parents or what happened to them. Did she
It
ever
said they
say?
died.
What in the beginning of this one? Well, I guess the teacher would know from like records. Her parents aren't there for whatever reason, and she lives with her aunt who's a hoe.
See,
How damning is that? Oh, she accepts all people's desires. How am I supposed to feel anything from that?
that's very vague.
This whole show is very vague.
Like she says, like, yeah, that's what love is to her. But why? Why? That explains nothing. That's not in the DSM.
Nah.
Um, accepting all desires. Like, does she have like borderline personality disorder? Does she have schizophrenia? You know, give me something clinical
Yeah.
because that would make more sense.
The whole time they had her in the scenes, they were doing the I'm the crazy middle-aged anime lady trope, but giving it no foundation at all. It's like there's no reason for you to be acting this way, and I feel nothing.
It's like, oh God, this is so obscure, and I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna be able to relate to it. But it reminded me of Sleepaway Camp. Like, do you remember Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah.
In in the beginning of Sleepaway Camp, when the cousins, before the cousins are going away, the mom sends them off, and she's just weird, and there's no explanation as to why she's acting that way.
I
She
don't
just
remember that
sounds
part.
kind of. She looks like she's just taken like a bunch of Xanax, and she's just like her eyes are just wide open, and she's like robotic, and she's got the Stepford Wives like
Nah.
grin just planted on her face. It's so weird.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what this aunt reminds me of. She's just crazy, but it's it's so hollow. Like I want to know why she's like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, especially since there's been all this build up. It's like, oh, the main character Sato is obsessed with like pure love, and like she always has these flashbacks to her aunt laughing at her lying on this bed, and we finally meet the aunt, and it's like, oh, now we're gonna get some insight. No, you're not. You're just gonna get some weird stuff that means nothing, and then they're gonna go to the next scene.
But yeah, if she just said, "Hey, look, my aunt has schizophrenia, and I was raised by her, and it really fucked me up."
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta say. You know. Is-
All right. Enough complaining about that. So yeah, then I guess she leaves Shoko, and then she goes to another false apartment where the sensei is there, and she threatens the sensei. She's like, stop following me around. And of course, because this chick is the smartest, craftiest, most intimidating person in all of Tokyo, sensei is like, all right, sure, I promise, you're super cool, and I'm just an asshole.
Said, please step on my nuts again.
Yeah.
She's like, okay.
She's like, not now, maybe later. Like, okay, all right. So then she goes. Once he's gone, she goes to her real apartment, where what's the girl's name?
Shio.
Shio, yeah, is there.
Shio.
And she's like, oh, everything's better
Shio.
because I'm here with this little girl. And she's like, hey, little girl, do you know what friends are?
Girl.
And the little girl's like, no, we're clueless or
But
something.
she's fucking stupid. Even I, at that age, knew what a friend was.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's one of the first words you learn when you start meeting other people.
Besides mom, dad.
Yeah.
And the people that you meet that aren't related to you.
And it's like, no, I'm only 8. I don't know what friends are. And she's like, neither do I. Let's take a bath together.
Well, that's how Alvin and I met.
Oh. I'm like, hey, baby, do you know who friends are? And then I just kind of slid in there.
And I was like, nope, but I know what a cop is.
Oh. So, like, after the credits, we get a little look at her, like if she goes in the room which is supposedly full of bodies and blood, and it flashes back to when that room was actually clean, and she's out in the rain, and she's like, somebody is talking to her, we don't see him, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm out in the rain and I just don't want to go home, so she's
Well, it's implied that she killed whoever lived in that apartment.
yeah, implied. Lots of implications in this story. So it's like, oh, you want me to model for your stuff? Yeah, sure. And what else happens after that? No, that's it. She's modeling for the art, and I think it ends there. Can't wait. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many episodes? 5, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 more episodes. We get to find out.
Everything. We'll know everything. We'll know
Everything will be revealed.
where Jimmy Hoffa was buried.
I bet this bitch killed Jimmy Hoffa. She's that crafty. She went back in time, flew to America, got involved,
Iced Jimmy Hoffa and stuffed him somewhere.
put him under a speed bump.
Oh, you know what she did with him?
What?
She took him into the future. That's why his body was never found.
What? All right, I'll allow it. And then somebody saw her, and she's like, "You better not tell anyone because I'm so intimidating." And they're like, "Oh my God, this 15-year-old chick is so scary." She's probably like 17.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 15.
Did you read this whole manga? Is it over?
I didn't read. I think it's still going. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I know that there's something about this inspired you to watch this. Are you still feeling it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's just as I like manga about crazy people. So.
If you're listening to this, just don't watch this. Watch Goblin Slayer.
Oh my God, Goblin Slayer is awesome.
Goblin Slayer's
that guy's
cool.
crazy too.
Yeah, but it's actually interesting, and there's consequences, and there are little secrets, but things are explained.
That guy is only about the goblins.
I know.
He's like, I'm a simple man. I see a goblin.
And it's like, of course they're holding back on like the details of the tragedy that drove him there, but you're like, there's so much richness that you don't care. It's like, I just want to see more Goblin Slayer.
No, they went over what happened.
Well, he kind of said like, let's say you leave home or something, and you come back and everyone's dead. Let's just say for
no, he was there.
Oh yeah, he was there.
He was hiding when he saw the goblins work over his sister.
Give her a good working over? Is that what they did?
Yeah. Well,
Just worked her over?
I'm trying
40 style?
I'm trying not to be crude.
Queensberry rules?
I don't even know what that means, and I don't want to know.
Gonna give you a good working over, see? Yay.